The market capitalization of the coin is used to summarize all that is taught in this video. Additionally, I would ask that you support my channel by liking it and subscribing to it so that you can stay up to date on future XRP news, as well as other cryptocurrency news in general. Take a look at this now, shall we? As Ripple and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission continue to engage in a court battle, a pro-XRP lawyer has predicted that the SEC would rule in favor of Ripple. The XRP army is continuously on edge as they wait for a probable ruling involving remedies and fines. They are waiting in anticipation of the result, following the completion of the final regular filings. The legal proceedings, which had been ongoing for 61 days, came to a close. In their guesses regarding whether or not the decision may be made as soon as this week, members of the community have been tagging notable pro-XRP lawyers in the community, such as Jeremy Hogan, Bill Morgan, John E. Deaton, James Metal Almond Murphy, and Fred Rispoli. These lawyers have speculated that the decision may be made even sooner than this week. The community has reached a high level of speculation, which has reached a particularly high level. It's possible that the litigation regarding XRP will be settled on Friday. In reaction to the speculations, Rispoli made a prediction that caught everyone's attention. He claimed, "The earliest I can see it happening is Friday, which is a day before the anniversary of the summary judgment ruling that has been going on for a year. Regarding my forecast, I am continuing to place my wagers at the end of July. I believe that this will be the case. Furthermore, an experienced analyst is undaunted by the fact that XRP has not performed as well as anticipated and anticipates a huge breakout in the near future. The conversation was enlarged to include procedural problems, which might potentially act as a barrier to a final judgment regarding remedies and punishments. Bill Morgan, an additional attorney who is in favor of XRP, joined the discussion and expanded it to include these matters. Morgan questioned his colleague about the situation, inquiring about a motion that is still pending and that Judge Sarah Netburn is required to rule on before Judge Annalisa Torres can decide on fines and remedies. At this point, Morgan made the following observation. Before Judge Torres can make a decision about the fines, isn't there a motion that is still pending before Judge Netburn that needs to be decided first? The following is an explanation of the clarification that Rispoli offered. It is true that the motion has not yet been resolved. On the other hand, there is no necessity in the procedure that it must be decided for the first time. It is possible that Torres will convey to Netburn that her discovery eliminates the necessity of making a decision about the X3 discovery issue. In order to accomplish this, both judges may interact with one another. The only way that Morgan could communicate his appreciation to Rispoli for offering clarification was by stating, "Thank you, Fred, take a look at this article that is relevant." XRP and Cardano are referred to as cult meme coins by a former analyst at Goldman Sachs who is critical of both of these cryptocurrencies. Rispoli has recently made several predictions which Bitcoinist has covered, and this legal conversation follows those predictions. Those projections made by Rispoli suggested that the decision might be handed down on July 31st, but this is not the case. Additionally, he said that a decision might be given as early as July 13th, which is the anniversary of an important summary judgment that was handed down in 2023. This date aligns with the possible date of the decision. The previous ruling made by Judge Torres, which concluded that XRP does not fulfill the threshold for a securities, was a key success for Ripple in its fight against the chip that was issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Morgan brought up the fact that there is still a motion that makes the procedures more complicated, despite the fact that this was already mentioned. As part of a motion to strike that was lodged on April 29th, Ripple disclosed more expert documents that were given by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Andrea Fox, who is a new expert witness, has provided these documents, which contain statements and exhibits from her expertise. It is possible that the decision that Judge Netburn takes in reference to this motion will take on a significant amount of significance. In the event that Judge Netburn makes a decision that is favorable to Ripple about this motion, it may be possible for Judge Torres to proceed without the need for any additional rulings to be made regarding this particular topic. It has been speculated that this does not have to be a barrier to the ultimate decision of the remedies and penalties that will be applied in the case. Given this information, it is possible that a decision will be reached as soon as this week. The most recent information surrounding the Ripple class action lawsuit indicates that the parties involved have submitted an administrative motion to file their documents under seal. This information was obtained from previous reports. In accordance with an order that was made not too long ago by a judge of the district court, the court has set deadlines for hearings and motions that are to be submitted in the month of 2017. Monday has been designated as the deadline for submitting the narrowed request to seal. This is due to the fact that the argument presented by the programmatic buyer is applicable specifically to this case. With regard to the action that involves Ripple Labs and Inc., Ripple has requested that the court take into consideration the summary ruling that Judge Torres delivered. This ruling is a modest modification, an administrative motion to file under seal, and administrative motion under Civil Local Rule 711, and attachments to an administrative motion to file under seal were the most recent documents that were presented to the court from the administrative side. The uploading of these documents took place at the close of business on July 8th evening. Prior to this, Judge Phyllis Hamilton issued a directive to the parties, asking them to reconsider their petitions to seal the briefs. This was due to the fact that the court had previously denied the sealing of any portions of the proceedings. The request for particular evidence that was requested jointly by Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple Labs, and XRP+2 seals was granted by Judge Hamilton in order to fulfill the request. Konigate has informed that Judge Phyllis Hamilton has set the deadline for the filing of the narrowed request to seal in this Ripple XRP dispute at July 8th. This date was established by Judge Hamilton. After this, the court will make a separate order concerning the narrower motion to seal that was made by the parties. This will take place after this. In addition, the subject was referred to the magistrate judge Robert Ellman for a discussion regarding the potential settlement that was being discussed. Additionally, it was anticipated that the parties would submit a notice by the 26th of July indicating that they would continue to seek the exclusion of the testimony of 4 experts. This was due to the fact that the plaintiffs were unable to demonstrate that XRP is a security and that investors rely on Ripple's efforts for returns. According to the summary decision, Ripple was successful in the bulk of the points that were submitted with them. Fred Rispoli, a prominent cryptocurrency attorney, has projected that the anticipated date for order in the remedies phase may be either Friday, July 12th, or late July. He believes that the price of XRP will recover, and he believes that this will become the case. In anticipation of the ultimate verdict that Judge Torres will make, whales are amassing XRP, which is equivalent to almost $16 million from a recent transaction involving a huge whale. Due to the fact that Whale Alert is keeping an eye on this transaction, there is a heightened expectation that the case is moving closer and closer to being resolved. Fred Rispoli, who is one of Ripple's advocates, brought up the possibility that the court battle could be resolved on either July 31st or July 13th. He hinted that this could be the case. Particularly significant is the fact that the 13th of July marks the anniversary of a landmark decision that was issued by Judge Analisa Torres of the federal court. As a consequence of Judge Torres finding that XRP was a commodity when it was sold to the general public on this date in the previous year, the price of XRP surged by a factor of 100%. Rules and regulations that are subject to ongoing uncertainty. When it comes to the regulatory environment that surrounds cryptocurrencies, there is still a considerable lack of clarity and consistency. In light of recent developments, the allegations that were lodged against Binance by the Securities and Exchange Commission have been dismissed. The disparities in the regulatory approaches to cryptocurrencies were brought to light by this verdict, which was exploited in Ripple's defense of the currency. Ripple was able to use this ruling successfully. According to Ripple's viewpoint, the current regulatory ambiguity makes it difficult for the company to operate within clear legal restrictions. This would be challenging for the company to do. Despite the fact that individuals have hopeful expectations regarding the outcome of the litigation, the movements of whales reveal a picture that is less favorable for the market. In light of the fact that the cryptocurrency market as a whole is now experiencing a drop, the XRP whale can choose to sell off assets in order to lessen the possibility of incurring losses. The price of XRP is currently trading at $0.43, which is a growth of 0.6 over the course of the previous 24 hours. It is important to note that the information that has been provided is not intended to serve as trading advice.